Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another Chase the Ace video. Hurrah! I get ace tankers, yay! And this particular one we are having a look at some French machines, specifically some mid-tier French heavy tanks. So, kicking off proceedings with the ARL 44. Tier 6 French heavy tank. Now, there are kind of three guns you can use on this machine. The long 90mm gun that has good penetration but takes approximately 3 years to aim. The short 105mm gun that has good alpha damage and actually good DPM but takes approximately 3 years to aim. In fact, it's even better that the premium rounds on that gun are just an I win button. It's kind of annoying. You get more penetration and more alpha damage, because why wouldn't you? And then you have the short 90mm gun, which is my preferred choice. Doesn't excel in any particular area, but doesn't suck in any particular area either. Now, it's been quite a long time since I played the ARL 44. I do actually have some videos of this tank on my channel, but they are very, very old. This is before the thing got a HD model. This is probably going back to like 2014 or something. And so I thought, you know what, we'll put some more videos on the tank out. I have a review coming of this machine, but I never aced this thing at the time when I was playing it, so I went back, rebought it, and this is what we're currently doing. Just trading with this T-34-85 and his little KV-85 buddy. We take one hit there just to look at where it penetrated, side of the turret. With the ARL 44, in terms of armor, your upper frontal hull is actually the best of any French heavy tank until you get to like the tier 9 AMX 5120 or something. The turret, however, is weak, unfortunately, so you do have to bear that in mind. This 90mm gun, packing 170 penetration, 240 alpha damage. It's very similar to the M3 90mm you find on the M6. My preferred gun of choice, because while it doesn't excel in any particular area, it also doesn't suffer from a horrendous aiming time. I mean, the aiming time isn't particularly good, but on the other guns it is truly dreadful. In fact, personally, I recommend avoiding the long 90mm gun. I thought he was going to keep going. Avoiding the long 90mm gun, because that has the horrible combination of terrible aim time and terrible alpha damage. So you have to keep aiming at people and keep shooting at them. At least the 105 has decent alpha damage to back it up. It's not Soviet 122mm gun levels of alpha damage, but it's still pretty good. Anyway, not the gun that I've chosen to use. So we are here, it's Ruinberg, clearly. We've obviously come over to the town to get into some fisticuffs. Tier 7 match, so we are mid-tier here. Not top tier, not bottom tier, middle of the road. Matchmaking. Take the shot there without aiming on the IKV. I thought it was worth a go. He was backing off behind cover, and we are actually rewarded with the kill. So far, we've got one kill. Our team is 5-3 the better. Things seem to be going okay at the moment. VK over there takes an artillery shell. T-34-85 just around the corner. Unfortunately, our IKV-90B here is looking a bit worse for wear. So that's one of our tier 7s, one of our top tier tanks that was not in particularly good place. And our other IKV-90B, of course, has already gone to the scrapyard in the sky. T-34-85, KV-1S, VK. We don't really have any of the enemy's top tier tanks over here. Oh, there goes our IKV. And that's because the top tier tanks on both teams are tank destroyers and artillery, and we're over in the town. So that does mean we're mainly facing medium and heavy tanks. And you can see here, even though I don't have the high penetration gun, against the vast majority of targets you are going to face, the 170 pen on this gun is perfectly adequate. Which is one of the reasons I don't really recommend the long barreled 90mm gun on this tank. You may well use it, and that's fine, but just not my not my thing. So KV-1S decides to make the genius decision to poke out while his tank is on bugger all health. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh to him. Lots of people have died over here, so I can't blame him too much. The Panzer 4H, on the other hand, that was just stupid. At that point, he knows that I am there. So why would you just drive out in front of my 90mm gun? I mean, it didn't kill him, but it took off most of his remaining health. So, not the best decision he could have ever made. Scoreline is now not 7-9. We have well, okay, 8-9. We have lost a few more tanks, so we are actually trailing here. And I decide at this point, I'm in the town, I'm about the only one here. These guys, as far as I'm aware, are on pretty low health, so let's see if we can do something about this Panzer IV-H and the VK3001H. If we can push these guys out, that would be quite nice. So just coming around the corner here, being very careful because the side armour on this tank is pretty trashy, but there's no one there. Okay, fair enough. Let's just keep going then. Gonna push around the corner. Scoreline is 10-10. There's the VK looking in completely the wrong direction, and unfortunately that shot just goes into his tracks, so we don't manage to pick up the kill on him immediately. It is a little unfortunate because now we're in the position where chasing this guy down might mean we take artillery shells, and that would be sad, but what are you going to do? We don't take the artillery shells in the end, but we do take a hit from that VK, which is a little unfortunate, but that's life. Someone else has managed to kill the Panzer at some point. We take an artillery shell there, which is a bit annoying, and we're facing off against 2 artillery pieces and a Hell Kitty at this point. Hell Kitty was last spotted down the other end of the map. Hello, Mr. Artillery Piece. There's another artillery shell to the face. I decide to repair it. I'm loading a HE shell at this point. Finish off the Lorraine. And now I'm trying to make sure I don't die to Gorilla. That would be a little sad. Speaking of the Gorilla, there he is. And just lining up a shot. There we go. Didn't actually need the HE round in the end, but it did certainly do the job. Hellcat is coming around. This is a bit of a problem. I am a one-shot for the Hellcat, and I can't really get away from him. I can just hoping that I bounce him, put a HE round into him for 341 damage, and he just kills me, alas. He is the last one left, though, and with any luck, he should be killed. But look at what we've got left. We've got a T-67, who, to be fair to him, puts a shot into the Hellcat, but dies. And then 2 artillery pieces. So this is potentially a little bit dicey. GW Panther and a Gorilla. I'm a little worried about this. I mean, we've had a reasonable game. We picked up our 5 kills. But that does not mean this game is a guaranteed win. Of course, there is no such thing. Hellcat and GW Panther have now seen each other. And in this sort of situation, it's a bit weird because, yes, the Hellcat is perhaps the tank more suited to this kind of situation. Oh no, but the GW Panther does have a bigger gun with a splash radius and more health, but he's gone off early. It's all going wrong. And Loki is scoffing at my turns of phrase. Hellcat comes around, fails to hit the GW Panther with that shot. Oh, the next one. Yeah, the next one does the business, but it looks like he might be using the small gun, and then he just decides to come around the corner with a Gorilla sitting there, which was never a particularly intelligent use of his time, but there we go! We win! Hurrah! All praise the confusing decisions of a Hellcat, I guess. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the post-game stats for this one. Now, I was actually surprised that that match was my ace tanker, because while it wasn't a bad game, I didn't feel it was particularly great. And I played quite a few games in the ARL when I first was grinding through it, and, well, I never aced it then. So I was a bit surprised at this result. Never mind, I'll take it. Ace tanker, fire for effect, fighter, duelist, bruiser, high caliber, and a Pascucci's medal, because now that only requires killing 2 artillery pieces. 2,118 damage done, 5 kills, 1,144 base experience. The enemy Hellcat, despite being alive at the end of the game, only actually did, well, just under 800 damage in that match. None of the enemy team really had a particularly good performance, and to be fair, the KV-1S did alright. Credit where credit is due. 16 shots fired, 15 hits, 11 penetrations for that damage count. 7 hits received, 5 penetrated, 2 did not. 360 damage blocked by our armour. 5 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 damaged, 5 destroyed, 62 assistance damage, 1.71 kilometers travelled. And that 8.5 minute match managed to get us 19,000 credit profit with a standard account. So it wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a mega carry or anything like that. Nonetheless, that was my ace tanker in the ARL 44. So let's go and jump into another French heavy tank and try and ace that as well. So here we go, we have moved it down a tier for this game. We are in the French tier 5 heavy tank, the BDR G1B. This is a completely tier 5 match. All machines in it are the same tier, and we're here on El Halouf. Now the BDR is... When I first played this tank, I didn't like it. What you get is quite a tall machine, as you can see there, with armour that would most accurately be described as decidedly mediocre. Mobility that would most accurately be described as decidedly mediocre, and a gun that, well, you either love it or you hate it, I think. This is a 90mm gun, which for a tier 5 heavy tank is quite a big gun. In fact, before the introduction of the OI experimental, this was the largest caliber regular, so not howitzer, regular anti-tank gun to be found on a tier 5 heavy tank. It has 135 penetration with armor piercing rounds and 240 alpha damage. And that 240 alpha damage hurts at tier 5. You can one-shot some tanks that you meet. It's quite a lot of damage. If you're willing to fire some high explosive, you get 320 alpha and 45 pen, and your APCR rounds take your penetration to 175. The gun is not particularly accurate, however. It has quite a long reload time, quite a long aim time. So this is a gun designed to beat people around the face with. Basically, with the BDR, you poke around a corner, derp someone in the face, and poke back. It's kind of like a Russian tank in that way. And it's not a bad tank. It is actually quite a lot of fun to play in the right situation. But when I was first playing this tank, I didn't really appreciate that. So, screw this. I'm bored. I have a big gun. Let's take off half the health of that T-34. I take one shot from a VK there, but he hits me for 100 and something, and I hit the T-34 for 240, so I get the better of that trade. And that's the nice thing with higher alpha damage. You trade very effectively with people. Put one into the back of that whatever it is, M7 is it? Looks like an M7 there. And he suddenly is probably wishing he hadn't bothered. So we've already one more shot basically, and we'd have done as much damage as we have health. So we'd have pulled our weight, if you see what I mean. But we're not here to pull our weight. We are here to beat the enemy in the face repeatedly until they are no more. Panzer 4H just around the corner here, and the VK, and there's someone else in the background. Go for the Panzer 4H first. Flub that shot, but he doesn't manage to penetrate me either. And our genius OI experimental has decided that what he needs to do is sit behind me and take lots of damage. Fantastic. So just trying to side scrape around this corner. Put one into the VK. We deal quite a lot of damage to him and take his track out in the process. And our friendly OI experimental is no more. Hello, Mr. Panzer 4H. Bounce the AP round out of his howitzer. He's doing the whole howitzer thing wrong. How can you tell it's from the howitzer chip? Because it does 350 alpha damage. And we put a bigger one into him. Again, we trade shot for shot with the VK. He hits me for 131. I hit him for 240. I'll take that trade. Also, I have better armor than him. I mean, this is just a bad situation for either of these guys. The Panzer IV should be using the high explosive rounds on the derp gun, but he's not. Actually, low roll there. He has 213 health, and of course we roll for 212. Looks like there might be someone trying to come up behind me, but it looks like some allies have got that approach covered, so let's not stress too much about that. Can we finish off the VK? Goodbye. That's him dealt with, and well, that's our first kill. And we're up to over 1400 damage, which for a tier 5 machine is really quite tasty. Panzer 4H with the howitzer is showing his side armour, missing his shots and getting absolutely wrecked. I mean, this is only a tier 5 match, you can't expect miracles. Execute that VK over there who wasn't really paying attention, and he becomes kill number 2. Churchill 1 now, well, we can deal with him. We just put shots through his turret. And we should be able to take around about 3 shots. Well, it will take about 3 shots for the Churchill to kill us. Panzer 4 finally does something useful and takes a chunk of health off of that Stug, meaning that we should be able to pick up the kill given the opportunity. As it is, the Churchill actually gets in the way of the shell, which is slightly annoying. Now, those guys appeared to be moving forward to take advantage of my dubious reload time, but as it is, we are now reloaded, so meh. The problem with the direction, of course, or the way that I'm side-scraping, is that the big top hat on the top of the turret is on that side of the tank. So in an ideal world, you'd side-scrape around a corner, exposing the left side of your tank rather than the right-hand side, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, we do what we can, essentially. Churchill 1 pokes around, Churchill 1 takes a 90mm shell through the face, Churchill 1 tries to take advantage of my reload, realises there's stuff in the way and he doesn't have the gun depression, and Churchill 1 becomes kill number 3. That Stug goes down to a friendly Stug, and suddenly we're winning this 10-8. Had a really nice Barney over there on that corner with the enemy tanks, and basically took advantage of the fact that this is a tier 5 match, and they don't really seem to know all that well what they're doing. And what they should have done is just rushed me. There was usually me and, okay, maybe one other person there. If they'd rushed me, they might have had some success. As it was, they just decided to trade with me shot for shot, and my gun does more damage than theirs. My numbers are bigger than theirs. And so that went well for me and less well for them. Anyway, coming around here now, Churchill 1, OI Experimental, and little old me, I'm happy to let them go forwards. Yeah, they can get shot, that's fine. And I will attempt to blow the things away that pop up. But we'll see how things actually pan out. Ooh, enemy KV-1. Ooh, he is... Is he fully upgraded? He might be. Waiting for the gun to aim. There we go, aiming for that mid plate. And 135 penetration is enough to go through him. And he gets killed by our Stug. But we get some more damage into him, which is nice. Over 2.3k damage now. There's only 3 of them left. We've got the M41 HMC, Panzer 4H, and the OI Experimental. So just pushing up here, seeing where we can find these fellows and how much more damage we can do. Our OI Experimental is taken out by their artillery, unfortunately. So, nah, could be better, could be worse. Just having a look around this corner. Is anybody here? Well, they're going to be somewhere, but we don't know where. Come on, fellas. Oh, OI Experimental. Don't aim for too long because I don't really want to get shot a lot, but we still managed to put a shot into him, which is nice. Trying not to get hit by artillery here, but people are working over that OI Experimental now, and I'm not expecting him to be long for this world. Speaking of which, he dies to our Stug again. He is racking up the kills at the moment, isn't he? So just the enemy artillery and the Panzer 4H. Can we find these guys and get a little bit more damage and hence a bit more experience out of this match? Just going to speed this along ever so slightly because BDR is not the fastest machine in the world. Remember that Panzer 4H who got away on 1 health? Yeah, okay, that's kind of evened up as we don't even aim that shot and we managed to execute him. And now it's just the enemy artillery. Oh, 230 health, 240 alpha damage. Good night, sweet prince. Kill number 5. And that is the match. So for the last time in this video, let's go and check out some post-game stats. So this game actually felt like a better game when I played it, and this is a Chase the Ace video, it won't come as a huge surprise. Ace Tanker, yeah, Fire for Effect, Fighter, Unbreakable, or is it Shellproof, or whatever the hell it's called, Duelist, Bruiser, and a High Caliber Medal, which is a fairly nice haul overall. 2,812 damage done, which in a tier 5 match is none too shabby. 5 kills, 1,387 base experience. In fact, if you have a look at our damage count, oh, you can take like the next 3 or 4 guys on our team, add up their damage counts, in order to try and replicate ours. That's the sort of thing you were looking at. So in the right situation, the BDR can be a very, very nice machine to use. In the wrong situation, it hurts a lot. 16 shots fired, 15 hits, 14 pens. Didn't fire any premium or anything like that for that damage count. 7 hits received, 3 penned, 4 didn't, 785 damage blocked by our armour because there was a Panzer 4H firing AP at the derp gun like a muppet. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 damaged, 5 destroyed, 110 assistance damage, 2.34 kilometers travelled, and with a standard account, 31,500 credits in the bank. And a good amount of experience as well. So, there we go. Couple of French heavy tanks for you, just picking up ace tankers in those. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.